We say what they can't radio.
Black, stop playing with it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Mistakes podcast. In life, there's no mistakes, just life lessons. And we got a bunch of them. All right. My name is Jimmy, also known as Let JBJ. This is...
I'm Shakir B.
And, we're just going to be talking about topics in the male perspective, life. Nothing's going to go untouched. We're going to get into it from our perspective, giving you our perspective, and you're just going to have to hear us out. All right. My name is Jimmy. I'm a real estate agent. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm also a dad, and got a lot to say. So, Shakir, give me a little about yourself.
Yo, first and foremost, this motherfucker is on. Like, it's a mic. You got cameras. They gonna let me talk mad shit.
Let's do it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Shakir B. Listen, man, in life, there are no mistakes, right? But we go through life, we make hella mistakes. We learn from our mistakes, and we figure out a way to move forward. This podcast, when Jimmy came to me with the idea, no mistakes, I thought it was a good idea to kind of bring forth a podcast talking to everyday people about everyday shit, to help someone else get through the next hurdle in their life. And that's what this podcast is about. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this podcast. A little bit about myself. I'm also a dad, born and raised in Jersey. And, I think through life, going through my own experiences and having a lot of, perspective that other people can maybe learn from. We're going to have a lot of people on the show that's just everyday people just like you. So, that's the whole premise of this podcast. Right. So with that being said, Jimmy, what we starting out with, man? What we talking about today?
Man, all right. So life been lifing lately. So we gonna, are men these days? What do you think? Are men these days? Have we softened up? Have we not held ourselves to the standard that we should, or is everything just gravy?
Men, that's a good question.
Yeah, I'm feeling like it depends, man. It depends on who you're talking to. I feel like there's a good portion of the population that are just super soft right now, right? Super sensitive, right? And then we kind of like taking our eye off the ball.
A little bit. I can agree with that. Yeah.
And then there's a whole nother group, especially you see it a lot on social media. Well, at least they post about it, that are like Supermen this, Supermen that. We not doing this, we not doing that. Kevin's like Kevin Samuels, right? So what's your opinion? Are men these days, or is this like what's happening? Internet making us soft?
You know what? I think today, right? Men are men. To some degree, I'm gonna say yes and no. To be honest with you, bro, I think that some men today do absolutely, stand up and stand in their responsibilities. And I see a lot of men that don't, and we got to talk about that, right? This podcast, we're going to be talking about men who stand in their responsibilities that don't get the credit. And we're going to call out the men who don't take care of their responsibilities, right? Because both exist. Absolutely. Right. So what is it to be a man? It's not one answer to that question. It's a robust answer to that question. So we're going to have to do a deep dive. We're going to have people on the show talk about their shortcomings as men. Right. We're going to talk about our shortcomings as men.
I got a few.
Listen, I got a ton.
Yeah, I got a few.
Right. I got a ton.
Right.
So our men, man, we're gonna dive into it.
But that's a part of being a man too. Like you learning from
Definitely.
life. You learning from your life experiences, right? And you do what you can to just correct those lessons that you learn, right? So it's really no mistakes, because the mistakes that you made, really, they turn into life lessons. You can flip them around, turn them into lessons. You know what I mean? So
And not only turn them to lessons for yourself, I think turn them to lessons to reach back and be like, listen, cuzzo, listen, nephew,
right.
this is what I did.
Y'all, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, man. I have 2 daughters. All right. Now in my past life, I was a different kind of guy.
And that's why you got 2 daughters.
That's why I got 2 daughters. That's not so. You got one yourself, brother.
one.
All right. So listen, you're not too far behind me, all right? But yeah, man, like I always said to myself, man, when I get a certain age, I'm giving them the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling her. And what he said? He said what? Let me tell you, baby. He really meant this. He really meant that. You know what I mean? On top of course, just making sure they good, man. Make sure they don't need a man for anything, right? But also identifying kind of like when you do have a decent person in your life, where you don't want to scare them away and be all, I don't need a man for this, I don't need a man for that. But I kind of want to raise them up in a way that they don't need a man for anything, but not shun them and push them away. You understand what I'm saying?
You know what's so crazy about that? When you talk about giving them the game, right? If we had sons,
Mm-hmm.
we would be giving them hella game. If we had sons, we would be like, yeah, let me tell you how to talk to these girls.
Word.
Let me tell you how. With daughters, you kind of want to be like, don't talk to boys. Don't go over there.
Right.
Don't do that, right?
Right.
And I think that as a dad, man, I'm gonna give my daughter the game.
Facts.
Like, I want my daughter to be like, Dad, this dude trying to holler at me. You don't even know it, bro.
Exactly.
You understand? Because and helping her maintain her femininity,
Right.
Her mom will absolutely be taking the lead in that, and have no doubt that she's gonna be amazing at that. But
Right.
I think that from father to daughter, I think that game is gonna be essential.
Amazing. Has to. Especially things that you and I both been through. You know some of my background, I know some of your background. It's gonna be essential to kind of like school the little girl, school our babies and make sure they know what to look out.
At what age though? What age is it appropriate to be like?
I'm gonna keep it a stack
Let's
with you,
sit down and
man.
have this conversation because
I'm
it's about to get real.
my 9-year-old right now, I can see that she's gonna be the one that's like, super, super popular. She's gonna be the one like having all these friends. The next door neighbors, they always knock on her door. Can Gabby come outside? I already see it.
Gotcha.
So I'm already talking to her like right now. Like had a little situation the other day where the little boy was a little aggressive, but I said, listen, yo, you can't let these little boys put their hands on you, okay? You can't do that. You can't do that. You say no. You say don't touch me. You say, hey, my dad inside. I'm gonna go get him, whatever. You don't say, but you don't let him touch you. Say, period. It don't work like that, And then in another situation, she kept coming in the house. Dad, can I grab this? Dad, can I? She kept going to my fridge, taking stuff out to bring out to the neighbors and stuff. I'm like, yo, listen, we're not doing that. All right, we're not doing that. We're not training you up to go in the house, take your things, your items to go give them to the little boys outside. We're not doing that. So I think it starts early, bro.
It definitely starts early. It definitely starts early. And I think that not only for them, but for you too, right? The comfortability to have certain conversations with them.
Fact, true.
Start early. Like you got to build yourself up to have those conversations because I think earlier you were saying your daughter went to 8th grade social.
Yeah, my
Wasn't
oldest.
ready for that.
I'm not ready for that. I wasn't.
In the little dress.
Right.
Right. But
Right.
in building yourself up to have those conversations, you also build yourself up mentally to be like, all right, we're going through stages.
Right.
And now in this stage, I gotta talk to her about this. I gotta talk to her about that.
Right.
Right. So listen, unfortunately our babies can't be babies forever.
They can't be babies forever.
Unfortunately.
They can't be babies forever. I seen my daughter, she just went to her 8th grade dinner dance. And, the crazy part is I took her mom to the 8th grade dinner dance. So now seeing her go to the 8th grade dinner dance, I'm like, yo, this ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? This is not happening. But, she came out her room. She had a little, makeup on, a dress. And, it's not like a little kid dress anymore. You know what I mean? I'm just like, damn, yo, I definitely gotta like get ready. You know what I mean?
Is it harder though? Like if you would have had a son, right? Come out suit, nice.
Of course, like, look at my little man. Yeah, of course. It's just something different about having the girls, though. It's just something inherently genetically, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, like
yeah.
different with men and their daughters. You know, we like automatically take the protection mode. So, like, you know, any little thing happen, they fall. Like, oh, baby, you all right? Your boy, you like, come on, man, dust that off, man. Get up,
Yeah,
get up,
true,
walk
true,
that
true,
off.
true,
You know.
true, true.
But is that the way you should be with your daughter? Should you raise up a little bit, like, all right, dust it off a little bit, or should you run to her and be like, hey, babe, you know?
I think it depends,
Mhm.
right? I'm not one way with my daughter. Sometimes when she hurts herself
Right.
because she knows something I told her not to do, I don't comfort her, right? I just let her cry it out, like I told you. What you want me to do? Which is hard, so fucking hard, right? Because you do want to comfort it.
Mhm.
But I think that it's not a straight line to it, right? Like you have to know when to comfort them and know when to tell them to suck it up.
Right.
Right. So
Damn,
you can't coddle them because life is not
big facts. Big
life
facts.
is not gonna coddle your sons, your daughters. So you gotta kind of find that balance no matter how much you wanna just grab them like, oh, it's okay.
True indeed.
So
True indeed.
but in being a man too, right? Just to move away from the father daughter conversation. As a man, out there today, uh, you know, whether it's career, finances, in order. Is it hard to date as a man in America today? Is it hard to, find a good woman today? Is it hard to, you know, what do you think?
Yo, it's ugly out here, man. Like, period. It's just ugly.
Listen, I'm
It's
telling you right
ugly
now.
out here. It's
I
ugly
got a
out here.
homegirl who I talk to, or whatever, and I'd be like, yo, there's no right way to do it, right? Whether you're meeting people online, out and about, there's no right way to do it. I said the
Right.
only way to meet a good man or a good woman is you got to get lucky. That's it. You got to get lucky.
Gotta get lucky.
Because a lot of people who, if you listen to anyone who talks about a past relationship, right? Everyone says in the beginning it was good. It's always good. Everyone puts their best foot forward in the beginning.
Right.
But a year, 2 years later, you like, this motherfucker.
And they bite your ass.
All right.
And you realize how
Right.
fucked up that shit really was.
So how do you one as a man, right, in
Right.
America today, how do you date?
Right.
How do you bet? I think that's huge. How do you bet?
All right.
How do you bet?
All right.
And you know what? We actually gonna have some women on the show,
Right.
to talk about how they bet from a woman's perspective.
Now we have some interesting guests coming up, so that should be
Yeah.
interesting for you guys. So we'll have a female perspective on the show. But just to circle back to your question, man, honestly, it's ugly out here, right? You gotta have certain standards when you're out here dating, right? But when you talk about, your friends say you gotta have luck. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would say luck. I think you also have to have a little bit of everything. Maybe a little bit of luck,
Mhm.
maybe a little bit of standards, maybe a little bit of just, you just out here just trying to do best you can type of thing. But I will say this though, I will say this. Like, as I'm thinking back on life,
Mhm.
past life, current life, just life in general, right? Yo, we're not really supposed to be, as men, let me put it like this. And ladies, we're not on some like women hater shit. This is not that type of show. But as men though, I do feel like we're not supposed to chase. We're supposed to, I'm gonna tell you, we're supposed to attract, not chase. We're supposed to build ourselves up. We're supposed to make ourselves as valuable as possible, right? Meaning, got your shit together, got your career together, your credit score up, you got a decent job, you got money in the bank, you take care of your family. That's what you're supposed to do. When you do that, you attract certain type of females, But when you chase, bro, that's when you start running into problems, right? Case in point. All right, case in point. Let's look at the chessboard. You play chess?
Man, I don't know how to play.
Look,
I
chessboard.
suck at chess.
Check this out. Chessboard. You have pawns, got the rooks, got the king and the queen,
Mhm.
right? Pawns could get knocked off, game still going. Rooks knocked off, game still going. The queen, my friend, that you're supposed to protect, she can get knocked off. the game's still going on, right?
Okay.
But once that king is gone, no matter who's on the board, that king is gone, game over, right? That tells you like, all right, listen, let me work on myself. Let me make sure I'm tip-top shape. Let me make sure I'm in the best situation I could be in. So whoever I attract, they're getting, that type of value. They're getting that type of top tier type of thing. You know what I mean? Samson and Delilah, bro. You think about it. Samson and Delilah in the Bible. She came through, was pretending to love this man, and just what she cut his hair, because that's what she was after. She cut his hair, lost all his power. Done. Done. Right?
How do women take men's power?
What? Are you kidding me? They lose,
Not into the bedroom, because we know, you ain't in the bedroom.
They take the power. Take the power because men, when they focus on just one thing, they lose focus on everything else.
I believe that.
They lose focus on everything else. Even the Bible, bro, Proverbs 31, they talk about don't chase. Don't chase, because when you chase a certain type of woman, they take your power and then everything falls apart. It's in the Bible.
Is there a difference between chasing and pursuing? Because I think a man
there's
should
a big
pursue a
difference.
woman, but I agree he should not chase a woman.
There's a big difference between chasing and pursuing. I think as men, let's keep it a stack. We've all been guilty of chasing. You agree? Man, I don't care what this guy said. We all been guilty of chasing.
I don't know
Bro,
if I can ever
you were like
think of a
16 in high school, the hot chick in high
I
school.
gotta go all the way back to high school.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about in life in general. I think we all been guilty at some point in our lives.
I'm gonna say in my adult life, I cannot think of a woman I've ever chased. Absolutely not.
Okay. So there is a difference between chasing and pursuing. Chasing is like you losing focus, you're not doing what you need to do. You're only caring about the hell she doing. You're not thinking about what you got going on. That's chasing.
Yeah.
Pursuing is different. Pursuing is all right.
It's different.
I'm interested. I'm showing you I'm interested. I like what you got going on. I want to show you what I got going on. I'm interjecting you in. There's pursuing, there's caring about what she got going on without losing the focus on what you got going on.
Right.
So I do think there is a difference between chasing and pursuing for sure. Facts.
I think. Listen, in 2023, I'm gonna say, if you chase a woman, right, as a man, you're probably not gonna get the response that you want.
Absolutely.
Because it is not.
You get the response you want in the beginning. All right. You get the response you want in the beginning.
Right.
But when you show that woman, you'll do whatever the chaser. At the end, it's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap.
It is a wrap. That woman is not going to look at you
the same
as a man who she needs to invest her time, her attention, her energy, because you are chasing her.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you know what? A lot of times, when we think about dynamics between men and women, I hate to say this, man, but it is what it is. A man of a certain caliber.
Okay.
Right. A man of a certain caliber has he got options. Let's just say that.
Right.
Right. A man of a certain caliber has options. And so for him to chase will put him at a disadvantage when it comes to the dating scene. So but I absolutely think that a man should chase in a positive, should pursue in a positive perspective.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna show you I'm interested.
Right.
I'm gonna give you, the same interest that you're showing me, I'm gonna show you, and I'm going to pursue you. Mm-hmm. When you start chasing 2023, I eat you up, bro. It's a wrap, bro. You dead in the water. Dead in the water. So, from a dating perspective, man, I just think that men have to understand the landscape, because it's not like how it used to be. Mm-hmm. Right, back in the early 2000s, back in the 90s, like, it's not like that today. Mm-hmm. Right, we got people out here who, if you go up to a woman in public, man, they gonna look at you like you crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of crazy people in this world, right?
But what I'm saying is, back in the day, how else did you meet a woman?
Right, you go up to her.
You went up to her. Nowadays, you gotta slide in the DMs. You gotta connect with her online. If you just go to her on the street, like, excuse me, miss, can I talk to you for a second? Right. She gonna be like, who the fuck?
Right.
Right.
Get out of here, you weirdo, you creep.
Yeah, man. You gotta be careful, bro.
Yeah, you careful. It's different nowadays.
But when you think about how men are moving out here today, though. Right. From probably talk a little bit about that. The date. Is there a difference between dating and being a player? We'll talk about that.
There's definitely a difference.
Is there? What's the difference?
It's a fine line though, bro.
Okay.
And I really feel like it depends on it's in the eye of the beholder sometimes. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because there's some people out here that's like, yeah, I can date multiple people, you know what I mean? And I'm just dating, I'm getting to know you, getting to know you, getting to know you. But I mean, the women that you're dating, unless you're telling them that, they're gonna look at you like player, you know what I mean? So there is a fine line between dating multiple people and being a player. And I think that fine line is whether you're open and telling them that you're dating other people.
I agree.
Right? You agree? Yeah, because in my head, for example, you might be single, right? I might be single. I'm dating multiple women. In my head, because I'm dating multiple people, I don't need to tell.
Right.
I don't need to tell all of them because I'm not locked down to anybody. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But when they look at it, it's like, you know, I'm really interested in this guy. We're dating, we're going out, we're doing all this stuff. And the next female saying the same thing, the next female saying the same thing. They're looking at you like player. So there is a fine line, and I think that fine line is the communication. It's being able to tell them like, yo, listen, I'm feeling you, like what you got going on, but
yeah,
you know, I'm talking to this person, that person, that person.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think I would
Agree?
definitely agree with that. I think that you know, the difference between a player and someone who's dating is someone who communicates that, right?
Yeah.
If you got one woman and you make that woman believe that she is the only one, but you got other women, you're out here playing.
But then the worst of the shit that come back and bite you in the ass is when they all think they don't want
Right.
you know what I mean?
That's when you get your car blown up,
big
key,
facts,
all that.
big
So
facts. So
yeah, I definitely think that there's a difference. And I think that the communication piece is the most important part of it.
right.
For sure.
It's a big difference, you know, since you
But is it easy to just date in 2023? Absolutely, because women have turned a corner, right? So I feel like it's been a generational breakdown of behaviors.
Okay.
If you go back to 80s, 90s, whatever it may be, you know, men were, first of all, back then people were we had more marriages, first and foremost, right? However, within those marriages, we had men who had multiple families, right? So then the women were like, taught their daughters, you don't need no man. Always work hard, get your education, career, get your finances straight, so you don't need a man. Those women grew up thinking they don't need a man, right? For the reason that their mothers do. And so fast forward, you got the women's liberation movement, Cosmopolitan magazine, you know, they pushed this whole, bachelorette lifestyle. Women bought into it. Not saying it's right or wrong. And now today you have women that's okay with just not being in a relationship, right? Okay with not being married, okay with not having children, and just out here dating. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying we have a dynamic between men and women that makes it way easier today to be like, I'm just dating her.
Right.
And for women to be like, yeah, all right, well, you could do it. I could do it too. I'm dating him. Right. And so now we just out here just kind of like one night stands.
Everybody out there trying to get in where they fit in.
Right. So how do we bring it in? Like, whoa, how do we slow it down a little bit?
Right.
Or is it just the new norm?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm feeling like it's the new norm.
I feel like it's the new norm.
I think it's the new norm because, you know, let's keep it a stat. Women out here, they're out here kicking our asses, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
To some degree, yes.
I'm gonna tell you what that degree is. You know, if you look up stats, women, especially Black women, they graduating, you know, college at a way higher rate than us Black men. getting employment at a way higher rate than this black man, and high salaries at a way higher rate than some of us. You know what I mean? So now the thing is the standard. Like, what standard do I want in a man, right? We just seen this on the news a couple of days.
Standard.
I don't think here's the thing. I don't think it's a unicorn standard, but I also feel like some of the standards, right, are so like one-sided that even if you got that good dude, you making good money, you doing this, that, and the third, some of these things that women want from you are like to the point where it's just like it makes it hard for you to even have a conversation with them, because if you don't come through the door, 6 figures, 6'5", you know what I'm saying? 6-pack, you feel me?
20-inch dick. Like, what the fuck? I gotta have a 20-inch dick.
Yo, you crazy. But that's kind of like, it's kind of what social media is doing too, man. I think social media has an impact on that as well. Because everybody living a social media lie. You feel me?
Sure.
I know women that's like, out here pretending like they doing it, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. But then on the backside, they real life and they really not doing it like that. You know what I'm saying?
I think men
they
and
really
women.
not. Yeah, of course. But this is where the standard comes in. You know what I mean? Because now you're talking about the women who have the high standards, right? But they're not really living what they put out on social media.
Sure.
So now me as a man, I'm seeing this on social media and I'm liking this. I'm like, oh, let me jump in the DMs. You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, what you got? What you doing? And then I'm like, well, now, I ain't doing all that. Oh, I don't want that. But then you look at them like, hold on. You're not even living like, you know what I'm saying? You're not even living like that. You feel me?
So you need a man.
So it's social media is definitely playing a big role in how relationships work or not work out nowadays, man.
I think the standard is outrageous out here today. And not just from a woman's perspective, but also from a man's perspective.
How so?
So from a woman's perspective, from what I see, right, on social media, women really looking for like the top 10% man, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I think the national average among Black men, I think it's like 55,000 or something like that. Right. So if that's the average, meaning most men. I don't know if it's, I don't know. But if that is the average, right, and you're looking for a 10%, a top 10% man, we got 10% of men making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. 150 and above, let's just put it at that, right? Of that 10%, how many of those men are heterosexual men? How many of those men are heterosexual men? How many of those men meet your criteria for attractiveness, right? And then how many of those men actually want to date you, whether you may be Black, white, Spanish, Asian, whatever it may be. So the percentages start going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And so now you literally are looking for a unicorn type of man. Because then he has to meet your criteria, whether it be height. He may be 5'10". Oh, you want a guy that's 6'5". All right, well,
Shout out to the short fellas.
Shout out to the short fellas. For sure. And so I think the requirements are, astronomically just out of whack. And then from a man's perspective, you can't be a dude. I think you have to be a man of means to some degree, right? You have to be a man that's ambitious. You have to be a man that, is not just sitting around and doing average things in 2023. And you cannot be a man that's doing below average things, talking about you want a bag. Like that don't go.
Yeah,
right? Men look at a woman's attractiveness. Women look at a man's value, right? And so the two go hand in hand. Yeah. So I think on both sides, the stance are it's crazy.
I'm glad you said that on both sides.
On both sides, yeah. Listen, where we are today, right? I'm gonna say this. Where we are today, it is not men's fault. It's not women's fault. It is our fault.
Explain.
Right, and so, like I said earlier, we have a generational perspective that has shifted. Right. And so the women look at the men like, oh, if the men can do it, I can do it. right? If the men can go out here and have multiple girls and have a roster and whatever, I could do it too. So now you got women out here who have rosters, who are smashing multiple dudes at a time, using dudes for dinner dates because they hungry.
Using dudes for connections.
Right? I'm not saying this wrong. That's just the lay of the land. You have to kind of take a step back and look at why the transition has occurred, the effect that it's having, right? And so now the men are looking at the adjustment that the women have made, and now we're adjusting to the adjustment. And so the women are going to look at the adjustment that we're making, and they're going to adjust to the adjustment that we made. To
Everybody out here just adjusting, huh?
So it's just going to be a shit show to infinity and beyond, because at the end of the day, it ain't nobody giving up position, especially with social media and you guys, people out here just
capping,
spewing this and spewing that.
Capping.
Like, it's a wild, wild west.
Yeah, man. That's why when you, I also think it's, as men, like, I'm 40. You know what I'm saying?
Same. Let's turn
40. Just turned 40. We both just turned 40 not too long ago.
I'm 40 too.
You feel 40?
I feel like the second I turned 40, my bones just start hurting.
I don't know about that, but definitely some shit changed for me once I hit 40. Like, it was different. Shit don't move the same. Shit stick a little different. You know what I mean? But that's my problem though, because I like to eat my daughter's snacks, and that's why I can't get rid of this. I can't be doing that. Nah, man. My daughters be like, "Yo, Dad, what you doing?" I'm sorry, baby. But I also think that once you get to a certain age, though, all right, as men, certain, like, your criteria is just different. Like, at some point you just want peace, bro. I ain't for the rah. I don't want the fighting all the time. I don't need the you want to just go home and you just want to be in peace. You feel me? And I think
peace is a commodity.
Peace is a commodity, man.
Yeah.
Like, and you gotta protect that peace, because some of these relationships I have you bugging out. You know what I'm saying? Some of these relationships have you bugging out, and if you don't got your head on straight, you could really fucking lose yourself.
Yo, there's some dudes in jail right now because of a relationship.
Absolutely, this dude's dead right now because of a relationship. I'd be damned. You could keep all that.
Peace is definitely a commodity.
Keep all of that. That shit ain't happening over here.
I think that when you think about what peace is in a relationship, right? We all come with traumas. We all come with lifetime traumas. We all come with lifetime perspectives.
We cause trauma too, though, bro. At the end of the day, we come with trauma,
and we
experience trauma, and we cause trauma. I'm gonna keep it all the way a stack with you, super transparent. I've caused trauma, bro. I'm gonna say it today. I've caused trauma. I can say that. You know what I mean? I'm old enough and wise enough now to understand that I've caused trauma, right?
Listen,
it's trauma, but at the same time, I've caused trauma. I've also, trauma's got his lick back on my ass a couple times. You feel me? So now I'm at a place where I just want peace, bro. I want no problems.
What goes around comes around.
Obviously it does, bro. It does, but that's where that's where the no mistakes come from. You know what I mean? Because we go through these things, we make mistakes, we live, we learn, and then you just try to figure out a way to do better. You feel me? And that's just the point of, to me, that's like the point of life. Nobody's perfect. Ain't nobody walk around here perfect.
Right.
All these people passing judgment, and you did this and you did that. You gonna get what you. I don't want to hear none of that.
You know what's so crazy?
Everybody causes some sort of trauma.
I agree.
All right.
And you know why when you reached out to me to do this podcast, man, why I was so wanting to do it is because all my life I've been so private, right? Like, I'm private on social media,
super private.
Talk to people about anything. Like, this is my life. You can't have it. You can't know about it. And I just feel like I'm at a point where I just don't give a shit. Like, I'm gonna come on here, I'm gonna talk my shit. I'm gonna share my experiences, because in hiding all that experience, trauma,
right?
I feel like I've kind of been hiding in the shadows all my life.
Okay.
Right. I was talking to you earlier about Instagram, and I was like, man, I don't even do reels. right? Because it's like,
What I say to you, we about to do a
right?
crash
So,
course on these
for
reels,
real.
bro.
So I kind of feel like this podcast, man, I'm just gonna let it all out, let it flow.
As you
because
should.
I'm at a point in my life, I just don't give a shit to not talk about the stuff that I've been through that could potentially help someone else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so-
And that's the that's one of the main points about the podcast, because you done been through some stuff that we'll touch on eventually. I done been through a lot that I kind of want to like make sure you get off the chest. So if there's somebody out there that's listening, been through the same thing, kind of going through the same thing, experienced the same thing, it's kind of like the outlet for that. So so we gonna get into it, man. People's gonna know
definitely gonna get into
you private right now, but as of today, that's a wrap, bro. That's a wrap. You're gonna have to be that
I'm gonna have
that book. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously you want to keep certain things private. Though,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like certain things you have to keep private just for your safety, for your sanity. But I do believe in like the therapy that comes with the release. You feel me?
There's definitely therapy and release, and I'm gonna share this real quick. My mom was a single mom, right? And I held on to some things she had did in my youth, right? At 40 years old now, I just had a conversation with her last summer about those things. When I had that conversation with her, afterwards, it was just kind of like it's a release, right? And I was like, okay, now we're ready to move on, right? And I feel like sometimes we're maybe embarrassed, ashamed. We don't have the courage to talk to the people that hurt us,
Right.
And so I think that there is a lot of power in talking about your traumas,
Right.
to the people that hurt you,
Right.
people that caused those traumas,
Right.
and just moving on with it. Just moving on with it, bro. Because when you move on from it, you be like, yeah, I did that. What's up? Instead of trying to hide from it so no one will see you.
Right.
So I think that's important. Just let it out. Talk about
It's,
shit.
it's definitely important, bro. We talk about trauma with your mom, past trauma. Me, I don't talk about it a lot, but I grew up in an abusive household. Not me, but my mom. She was dating somebody for a good portion of my life who was physically abusive to her. And as a 40-year-old man, I can close my eyes and like it's like I'm standing right there of some of the things that she went through, like physically, like getting like tied to a chair and getting smacked.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's seeing
It's
that.
tough. It's tough.
And you know what? I had somebody ask me, like, because I'm super dad. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. 'Cause I didn't have that. You know what I mean? I didn't have it growing up, all through childhood, all through adulthood. There was no dad around, right? Not only that, my mom was abused, from like as early as I can remember until about like I was like 15, 16, like physically abused. So somebody asked me, like, yo, you so great with your daughter. Why you so, like, I ain't even had it.
Exactly.
So I want to give it to my kids.
Yeah.
Right? I want to give that type of love and energy to my children, because I can see how that cycle could repeat itself if I didn't have an outlet to release the love instead of like the fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's why I'm like the type of dude I am today, man, because, I'm cool with everybody. I laugh, I joke, I can accept your differences for you, accept my differences for me. But the minute I start realizing, like, you passing judgment on me, or, you trying to change me, or you like, yo, Jay this, Jay that, like, that's when I'm like,
Yeah.
you gotta go cutting you off. You know what I mean? Let Jay be, that's the name of the show. Let Jay be Jay. Let Jay be Jay, man.
But is that right, though?
Absolutely.
Is that right, though? Because it's kind of like saying people who call you out, brave on the things that may be something you may need to improve on, or it may be an action that you did that was wrong, or something that was said that was wrong, and they call you out on it. Is that
There's a difference between calling out and judging.
okay? Fair
I'm
enough.
big on that.
Fair enough.
I'm an adult enough to know, like, yo, Jay, come on, bro, you can't be doing that. Right. Like, what you mean? Come on, you know what? Yeah, you got Alice Wild. You gotta fix that.
Yeah.
I'm adult enough to know the difference between that and, like, yo, his character fucked up. I don't like him. He this, he that, he this, that. No, don't do that. You're you. What you eat don't make me shit.
Right.
I'm me. We're gonna be boys. If you see something I'm doing that you don't like, let's have a conversation about it.
Right. Yeah.
But don't pass your judgment. Don't
Yeah.
don't try to beat me up about it. Don't make me feel like I'm less than about it. That's when you get cut off. That's when I don't have no room for that. So let Jay be Jay. You be you, I'm gonna be me. We gonna get along, right? But if there's something that you're saying like, yo, Jay, that shit ain't cool, bro. We gotta talk about it. Let's do it. I'm with that.
Right.
I love that.
Fair.
There's growth in that.
Fair.
But when you like don't dirt on, like we not doing that. I ain't working with that. So
Yeah, I think it's important.
I've been doing enough that I don't gotta deal with anybody else shit. You feel me? I've been doing enough of my life where I don't need nobody has a judgment on me. You did?
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation, but that's where it goes,
Yeah, man. I think that, my group of guys, you definitely are part of that.
Mhm.
I got a group of guys around me that definitely let me know, like, yo, you tripping right now. Right. Or they'll say, no, you on par. Like, you right about that. Right. But nonetheless, we definitely have no problem telling each other, yeah, bro, you tripping.
Yeah.
Right. But it's definitely not from a place of judgment. It's from a place of, I know you. I know this behavior that you're exhibiting right now is not part of your character. So I got to give you a pull up.
As
men,
that's what we need.
Yeah.
As men.
Yeah.
As a man,
that's important.
I need that. As a man, tell me when I'm wilding.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't need a bunch of dudes around you and be like, yeah, man, go do that shit.
Yeah.
No, man, you ain't wrong. Like you don't need a parrot.
You don't need a parrot. You don't need
that.
yes men. You don't need anybody just gonna co-sign you just to co-sign you.
Right,
But you
right.
also don't need the type of dudes around you that's kicking your back when you're not around.
You
That's talking shit about you.
You don't need
that.
guys that's going to dirty your back on you either.
Yeah, you don't. Definitely don't need that. You know what I'm saying? So
A friend that will dirty back on you is a fucked up motherfucker, and he will stab you in the back any day of the week.
Every day. So
And he typically do it when a chick come around.
Talk about it.
He will do it when a chick come around that maybe you're cool with her. She's showing interest in you somehow, some way. And he like, I'm about to dirty mag on this nigga right here. And he start dirty magging and dry snitching and all other stuff. So yeah, man, you gotta have people around.
You gotta have good people.
That's trustworthy.
Yeah, but like me, my tolerance for that is low. I used to be the type of dude that just like, oh, all right, right, bro, I'm sorry, bro, I'm sorry. But once you start to like realize the difference between like constructive being called out, making sure you good versus like the bashing.
Yeah.
You got like people.
To that though, right? Something else we're gonna talk about on the show with a whole host of people. Toxic traits. What's your toxic trait? I know mine.
What's your toxic trait?
Man, listen, my toxic trait. I am not a forgiving person.
I think that's my toxic trait because I can be too much a forgiving person. I think that's my problem. My problem is like, talk shit, whatever. Then you pull me to the side, yo, my bad, Jay. I love you, bro. We family. And all right, yeah, you right, yo, you right. And then the shit happens again and again and again and again, and that's my toxic trait. Like, yo, it's too much. Like, you need to learn. Like, I love you, but I'm gonna love you from over there.
So wait, let me get this straight. Your toxic trait is that you forgive too much.
Yes.
Got you.
Yes.
Nah, bro. I am not a forgiving person. I am not. I feel like my circle of people I have around me, right?
Mm-hmm.
One, it's my intimate circle. Let me say that, right? It's very small and it's very intentional. The people who are in my life are in there because they are literally handpicked to be in my life. Right. And so I am very open with them. They know me, they know my character. And so when you do something that is hurtful, when you do something that goes against the bond we have built, no, I'm not a forgiving person. You will not get a second chance. And I think that sometimes in life, people deserve second chances. Yeah. Right. I understand that, but at the same time, I'm like, you don't get a second chance.
Yeah.
So
there's some people that just don't deserve a second chance.
Yeah, there's some fucked up people out there.
Yeah, for sure. I think my other toxic trait is I always feel the need to be able to get my point across. I always feel, I don't care what you call me. I don't care who said
don't know.
what about me. I don't care who dogged me out. But like, it's something about like, I need to, all right, this person lied on me. That's cool, whatever. Some people like, that person lied. I don't even got the time to even address that. For me, I'd be like, nah, let me set the record straight. And then after I set the record straight, feel however the hell you want to feel. I don't care how you feel, but let me at least, let's set the record straight, give you my point, tell you what actually happened. And then afterwards, if you choose to believe whatever, do whatever, that's on you. So I think that's my toxic trick, because there's power in just saying, all right, man, whatever you say, bro. You know what I mean? And then just,
yeah.
And then
I think that's where I'm at in
direction.
my life, though.
Mhm.
Like, whatever you say,
Yeah.
because you're not in my intimate circle,
Right.
right? So anyone outside of my intimate circle saying whatever they want to say, I'm just like, okay, go feel better about yourself.
But what if they're in your intimate circle though? How do you handle?
You
how
know
do you
what?
handle
I got to
that?
be honest with you. I don't know, because everybody who's in my intimate circle will, and this has actually happened in the past, where
Yeah.
they will pick up the phone and be like, "Oh, bro," right? Everybody, I'm telling you, every dude that's
You got
in
a
the
good intimate circle,
has
bro.
picked up the phone and said, whether it was, "Bro, we was hanging out this weekend, and I said this, and I thought about it, and I want to make sure like I didn't offend you," right? Or they took the phone and said, "Bro, we was hanging out this weekend, and you said," right? And every single time it's been, "Damn, bro, I didn't think about that. My fault."
Right.
Or it's been, "Nah, bro, don't worry about it. I wasn't offended by it." But the fact, the idea that they had the decency, the love, the respect to pick up the phone and make a phone call,
Right.
you know,
That's where it's at. I think that's first of all, that's a good intimate circle.
Yeah.
I got
telling you,
two of my
handpicked.
handpicked. I got two of my long-term friends that will do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
two of them from way back. They'll call me up and be like, "Yo, Jay, you know, you wow."
Yeah.
But then, you know, some people that I considered in my circle, they rather talk about you to each other, but not pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Jay, you know, you did this, you did that." Nah, they're gonna talk to this person, that person, that person, that person, that person, but won't pick up the phone and call you to say, "Yo, Jay, but what happened?" You know what I'm saying? I ain't with that.
But here's the thing, though. That's friends, right? What's your relationship toxic trait?
Relationship toxic trait.
I know mine. I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
I am not very.
Oh, I know
I am not very emotionally expressive. And I'm not very empathetic. Right? It's because I am in a relationship, you know, and my girlfriend is very. She's an emotional person, right? Always with good intentions, and then, you know, she's dealing in emotions, and I'm dealing in, you know, either it is or it isn't. Either you did or you didn't. Either you said this or you didn't say this. Either this is truth or this is false. Right? And I think that I have to learn how to be more, first and foremost, more calm, right? And more empathetic and open to feelings and emotions. Because I can tell you right now, I am not.
Like, those are things you need.
She's trying to reel me in.
Those are things you need in a relationship. I think my relationship toxic trait is, you know what, like, I hate the word "I feel," bro. But
yo, we in this episode.
I hate the word, the words "I feel." I feel like you did this. I feel like you did that. And I feel like you're not, yo, all right, so we're gonna talk about it, bro. But like, the I feel, that's it always sends me for a loop. I'm gonna tell you why, because I could feel like I'm in love, happy, and like, you know, I don't know, for example, let's just say, like, you know, shit, I don't know, you called to say, "Hey, how you doing today? What's going on? How's everything going?" And she's, "Oh yeah, I'm good. But, I'm good. You know, did this, did that. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm hit you up later. I got this to do. I got that to do." hang up the phone.
Mhm.
But then it's like, you know,
You're wasting up the phone.
I feel like you
You're
rushing
like-
up the phone. I feel
too
like you
busy for
didn't,
me.
you didn't like, yo, don't
You
do
ain't
that.
got time for me.
But you know what? We may need a female on the show for that because you and I we two and
Yeah,
on that part. But that's one of my
My thing is this, I understand where you're coming from. My thing is
like I like to deal with the reality, not the like I feel. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I did not do this.
Mhm.
I did do this. I did do that. That I feel like you did this and I feel like you did that. That will end the conversation with me real
Yeah.
quick, bro.
No, listen, I feel like when it comes to feelings, right,
Yeah.
feelings, in my opinion,
Mhm.
has no bearing on conflict resolution.
Okay.
Right? And here's why. There's a situation that happened. There's something that actually happened. There was something that was actually said. That is the actual situation that we're dealing with right now.
Actually
Right.
happened.
And the reason why I don't really focus on feelings is because everybody has a right to their feelings,
Right.
which can be whatever you want it to be, but you have a right to it.
Right.
Right. So if any man or woman is in a relationship or marriage or whatever, and you are focusing on your partner's feelings, that means you're always wrong, right? Because their feelings are always right. You have a right to have them. I have a right to mine, yours, your lady, my girl, have a right to have their feelings, right?
Mhm.
So if you are focusing on your partner's feelings, that means you're always wrong. Because their feelings are always right because it's their
It's
feelings.
their feelings.
You need to focus on, or what I like to focus on is what actually happened, what was actually said. Let's come to an understanding of that. And then I could be like, but now that I know that that's how you feel about it, I'll be more mindful of it going forward.
Yep.
Regardless if I think it's right or wrong or whatever.
You know, we're gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah.
But what I will say to that point is over my lifetime, what I do recognize though is women, they want to feel like their feelings are being heard. No matter what actually happens,
Yeah.
you gotta first acknowledge that they felt like this.
Yeah.
All right. First acknowledge that they felt like this. And then now we can talk about the facts. But when
Right.
we come in hot first, like that shit didn't happen. I don't care how you feel. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for
Yeah.
disaster. You know what I'm saying? You gotta check off that box first. All right, I understand. I understand you feel like this. I get it. I hear you. I get it. But babe, you know that didn't actually happen.
Right.
But then even with that delivery, sometimes you get in trouble because that didn't actually happen. Because like you said, to them it actually happened. So that's how they feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about. I'm happy we're doing this. I'm happy for our viewers. We're gonna have some guests. We're gonna have some special guests. We're gonna talk about like everyday life stuff, relationships. We'll talk. I mean, it won't be just relationships. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about finances. We're talking about fatherhood, motherhood, dating. We're talking about
Trauma.
everything. You know what I mean? Just from our perspective, and then we'll chime in with you guys and get your perspective as well.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
thank you for joining us today. You know, you had a good episode, bro.
Yo, this motherfucker is on.
It's on.
There's a microphone.
It's live.
I got cameras.
It's live. We doing
He's
it.
talking hella shit.
We doing it, man. Live, raw, real, unfiltered, no feelings, and we're looking forward to seeing where this goes. And I appreciate you guys coming out. Tune in next week. We'll have another episode for you. No Mistakes Podcast. We out.
We out.